The Business Simplicity Podcast, where leaders share their most successful strategies and the failures that inspired them, so business owners and managers can avoid the suffering and reap the benefits. With your host, Chris Parker.
And welcome back to the Business Simplicity Podcast. This is Chris Parker, and I'm having a conversation with Karen Boeck. And I have conversations with Karen almost every day. So this is a continuing conversation. In this case, we're going to record it for the podcast because Karen is the Agile coach supporting me and other executives and managers and staff and all the humans of destiny right now around Europe and most recently also around Middle East and Africa as well. So we work intimately together on a regular basis and have a lot of fun. And she was kind enough to accept the invitation to share some of her insights on the podcast. So I think I've known Karen for probably about a year or so, and it's a lovely journey. And I'm learning. I think maybe she's been learning. All people around us are learning. So if the goal of say agile transformations is discovery, growth, and learning, then we're doing a lot of that every day. So. Welcome, Karen. Can you kick us off with just a brief explanation of what is it that you do?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And first of all, thank you for this invitation. And thank you also for this nice working together and indeed the two-way inspiration and support we're doing at Destiny. And what is it that I do? Well, actually, my role is Agile coach, organization coach. And I see it, or I try to fulfill it as a kind of helping and supporting others, like people, teams, ultimately the whole organization, to realize their own ambitions. It's not about my ambitions, it's their own journey, their own ambitions. When people join a company or a team, they are full of expectations and ambitions and hope that they can realize themselves. And so what is it that is their journey? And there I try to bring in my backpack of inspiration, tools, ways of working, ways of coaching to help them along the way. And
I'm curious to dive into it, and I know we've talked about this probably in different ways, but if we really shine a spotlight on it, why? Meaning, what is the impact that you make, or why is this the path you've chosen for this part of your life?
Well, actually, it's life who has chosen this for me. Like we are all living in constantly changing environments, and we are discovering and experiences that the way of behaving, the way of working, that found their origin in previous contexts, that they don't do it for longer, and so we are forced, all of us, to find new ways of collaboration. Having better balance between finding structure and finding autonomy for the teams. And so that's what became my own personal journey as well. And that's what I try to support others with as well.
Yeah, so many questions to unpack that. Maybe for those that aren't familiar with the term agile, maybe sorry, trick question here. How would you describe or define agile in your words? Because I think every person who's worked with it has a different definition, but what's your own perspective?
Exactly. It became such a buzzword, and as many people as there are as many definitions of this word. And for me, it's basically a combination of three different areas. First of all, and that's the best known, maybe all those frameworks, ways of working, to get flow in the organization, to focus on the most important things first, prioritization, having maximization of the value that we want to bring to the customers, to the organization as well, in working in small increments, inspect and adapt, like we call it, so that we are not working like we did before for 1 year or longer on a big project, and then we brought it to the customers who said, well, this is not what we have asked for. Oh yes, here was the analysis. Oh no, but it's not what we need anymore. Oh yes, and we will help you people change-wise to adopt to it. So for me, that's the new ways of working, new tools, new frameworks. And that's also where it started for me. I discovered Scrum, and I thought, whoa, if we could work together with multifunctional teams instead of all those siloed teams, this would be great. And then the second discovery was, but wait a moment, if we are in a company like, for example, 800 people, it's not that it's just a sum of 100 teams of eight people working together in Scrum teams. So next step was scaled Agile. How can we scale these principles? Not really this just this Scrum, but the mindset behind the incremental ways of working, having an oiled machine from what is the strategy for the company, and how can we bring this to the teams. So there came in Skilled Agile, and there I was inspired by my partner Chris Verlinden, who is really into this. And then so first part is ways of working. But for me, there are two other areas as well. And the second is like, wait a moment, our organizations are currently today not structured for these ways of working. And there I would say, don't be afraid to adapt the structure of the company so that you enable the people in the company to benefit from those new ways of working. And there comes in like concepts and principles from, for example, Sociocracy. How can we make decisions in a different way than we were used to in those hierarchically structured companies? How can we involve the people? How can we find this balance? Like, oh, if we let them decide, it's endless discussions. And finally, me as the team lead, I still need to take the decisions, because otherwise we will never get out of it. And then you have the people again. Yeah, first they let us the autonomy, but finally they decide themselves. So all those these kind of things. So adapt the structure of the company to this. There's, for example, Team Topologies, which goes fully into this. So second area in agility for me is this way of structuring the organization. And a third aspect, and maybe less known, but for me it's where is my passion the most, is how to get there. So many people are talking about agility and increasing efficiency and value for the customer, and all those buzzwords and concepts. But how do you get there? Starting where we are now, 2 feet on earth. What is the ambition we want to realize? What is it that is going well? And how can we focus on and pay attention to what it is that we want to realize, instead of all those issue lists and escalations and trying to solve so many problems? No, let's more focus on what is it that we want to achieve. What is it that people come out of bed for in this in the morning? How can we benefit from the diversity in the teams? And yeah, that's basically where my passion is: coaching the teams, the people, organization in these directions.
So I have maybe a trick question. Is you also play an instrument in a band? I'm curious. Do you apply these principles? Because that's a group of people trying to create something together. Do you see a connection between your Agile at work and your Agile at play?
Oh, there are so many connections. Every day I see so many connections. For example, one of them is it's all about playing together. If you all try to imagine that everyone would play the same instrument because you want to be all aligned and all playing the same note and it would be horrible. So it's all about respecting each other, finding the balance with each other. And it's not the director who can do all this for the people who are playing. Yes, of course, you need a director because otherwise everyone is trying to find each other and playing at the same time, but it will never work. But it's for the director, it's a question of giving space and confidence to the players, and of course they have different levels of skills, and of course they have different levels of preparation and rehearsal. But that's not what it is about. It is about playing and bringing music and harmony together. So yeah, the role of the director is important in there.
Yeah, I was imagining, and we didn't talking about this before, but I know it's something you're passionate about. So I was also like, I wonder if there's some parallels there. There must be. There's always is in life. And we have talked about a lot about this next question, which is a strategy or tactic, that you can advise or recommend from your experience. And as a coach and an excellent agile coach, you have so many in your backpack. So, but before I ask that question, oftentimes I'm promoting people on the podcast so they can get other work and other things to do. And I'd like just to tell everyone who's listening, Karen is completely busy, so don't call her. So we're going to hold on to her for a while. So we're not promoting her business. Well, we will at the end anyways, but it's just, so Karen, can you share, something to the audience on maybe how you succeed in this space, or maybe how they can succeed? What comes to mind?
First thing which comes to mind is related to all those frameworks and ways of working. Use them as what a framework is meant to, like, those simple frameworks, those bookshelves from IKEA, just 8 little planks and some screws. And the value of this simple bookshelf framework is not the wooden thing on itself, but the empty space which in it, and what it brings value for you to have your books ordered, and in which way, and to get more value out of your books. And so use those frameworks like a bookshelf of IKEA as well. Don't try to implement it and to have your room full of those bookshelves. No, ask yourself the question: what is the value I want to reach with it? What is it that I want to improve at? When will I consider using this as being a success? And then there are so many things that can really help you. So ask yourself the question why before you start implementing them. Because it's not about how well are we in implementing a framework, but how well are we in getting where we want to go and achieving what we want to.
Can you dive a bit deeper in that? I think meaning why is I guess to achieve something, or oftentimes it's not easy to understand why you're doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. Very often people try to do something because they want to solve a problem. And there are so many issues popping up, and then team leads, managers, executives want to try to solve the problem for the people so that they can perform better, realize better the ambitions. And actually what those whys behind those frameworks have in common is increase the impact of us as a team and as a company. It's not about increasing efficiency in terms of working harder, working better organize our time. No, it's all about making the right choices in function of what it is that we want to achieve. In a lot of cases, it's like we want to go to be faster on the market. Well, what is the value? Why do we want to be faster on the market? What is the value in this? Well, we want to be faster than the competition. Why is it for you so important to be faster than the competition? And then you have a lot of discussions between speed and quality. We can't bring whatever to the company, to the customer, because so that's why this why behind is so important. And second thing for this is those frameworks are not there for the company, they are there for the people. And who are the people who came every day to the office and want to realize themselves? What are their aspirations? What will they be happy in 1 year when they have realized what? And there are so many different personality styles and communication styles and expertises that people want to do. And how can we bring them together so that people find what they have in common to go for? Because maybe there are just a few people who want to realize their ambitions just all by themselves. They need other people and they are searching for other people, and having the balance between focus and collaboration. And there again, we come to, it's all about the balance between direction and autonomy, focus and working together, collaboration, and not being involved in everything.
Yeah, what I learn, and I'm reminded by you all the time, is there is no answer. I mean, there's no one answer, and there's no timeless answer. Meaning, it's not like, well, we're going to do this for the next 3 years, and it will lead us to, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's every moment is different. So, nice. I've got a couple other topics like XP days and simplicity scans. But would you like to dive into? Is there anything else that you'd like to share with maybe about your, like, how do you do it as an agile coach?
Mm-hmm. Maybe one thing more. It's actually what we are aiming for in our teams and our companies is get to learning teams and learning organizations, because we will constantly need to adapt. There is no point that we know it and that we got it how to do and what is it and get to stable teams and stable organizations. We will always need to adapt. And so it's all about how can we get into this spiral of having our step on the horizon. What is it that we need to do or want to achieve, and how to navigate through there. And if there is one thing we want to become better in, it's in having an idea of what we want to achieve and how to get there. And that's basically what we try to achieve in our companies. How can we get those teams that are learning in this positive spiral of continuous improvement themselves as teams and as organizations?
Again, not having an answer, I think what we're trying to achieve evolves as well, because once we've achieved some things, then we've learned. Perhaps we failed, we've succeeded, who knows? But then we have, you know, shifted our perspective, and then also all the, you know, I think for me, I've shared this with you before, that I see companies as simply a collection of people growing and learning. And therefore it's a very dynamic thing, because all of those people are having different experiences every day. And so and therefore it's not really easy to determine what are we trying to achieve. Do you have any tip on how would you discover from a group of people on what is their ambition?
Mm-hmm. Well, one tip is, first of all, think for yourself. What is your own personal ambition and why? And if you make this, first of all, transparent for yourself, there are lots of people who have so huge to-do lists and jumping from one thing to another without still reflecting on what is it that I personally want to achieve. And if you do this, like, for example, ask yourself the question, imagine that in 6 months or 1 year from now, a journalist would come to you and ask you the question, hey, Chris, this success you reached over the last 6 months or 1 year, please tell me all about it. Everyone is talking about it. I want to have it in the journal, on the news. Please tell me about your success. And how did you achieve this success? What was your contribution to it? And how did you overcome the hurdles? Like going into this positive future, this is one of the ways to make this transparent, first of all, for yourself, secondly, for teams. And if we would make this, share this with each other in teams and as an organization, then it's not only the leaders of the organization who have and shared their own ambitions and the company's ambitions, but also bring this together.
As you were speaking, I was saying, what is my ambition? I think if I could share it, my primary ambition is to achieve a state of calm, joyful serenity within. So I probably won't be called by a journalist about how are you so satisfied within yourself. I don't know if that's the case. One out.
Why wouldn't that be a great topic to have?
I would love it. I'm not sure if it'll sell newspapers, but I don't care if it's in the newspaper. This is what I'm doing. More collectively around other humans, say within the company. To be a playful connector. Described by Christian, the editor, and my filmmaker friend and colleague in this. He observed that it's problem solving through positivity. I thought that was beautiful. I'll wear that. I'll take that. I'll wear that with honor. And then I think on the product side, I would love it if what Destiny does is they create easy to use business communication tools for small business, particularly around Europe, but around the world. Just some thank you letters of, hey, what you did helped me succeed in my business ambitions. That would be awesome. So sorry, you didn't ask the question, but I threw it in there anyways, but because it was triggered within me. And I'm curious if people are listening.
Well, this is exactly what happens if you ask the people the question, what would it be for you, this dreamed of future in 6 months or 1 year?
Yeah.
People start to talk positive about the future.
And I think we're going to ask that question now. So if you're listening to this, go find myself or Karen on LinkedIn, and this episode will be posted in the comments. If you so dare, just share. What is your ambition? Like I just did. So open up to that. So awesome. Now, Karen, you're involved in various things, and one of these is the XP Days in the Benelux. And I think it's on 8th and 9th of September. And I will be there presenting some of the Destiny Agile story with another colleague from Destiny Belgium. So can you just give us a short plug on XP Days and where they can get more information and why anyone would care to show up?
Yes, definitely. And talking about the XP Days, that's a place by excellence when talking about learning teams. Where is it and agility and how can we find the balance between direction and giving room and space to the people? That's exactly what the XP Days stands for. And it's an Agile conference that is created by the Agile community itself. So people can submit sessions and people can help each other out to improve the sessions, give feedback, give tips for improvement, for make it even more compelling and less. So no PowerPoint presentations, all more on interactivity, creativity, and giving room for the people there. And it's so tremendous to see how as organizers, we are just there to create the room for the people, for sharing, for learning, for experimenting, for getting themselves over the hurdle of should I dare this? Can I do this? And it's such an amazing experience. And all those different Agile aspects are there, get their place. It's about technology, it's about coaching, it's about processes, it's about cases of different companies, all those different kind of stuff. And yeah, indeed, the conference is this year for the first time in Luxembourg. It's a Benelux organization, not yet organized in Luxembourg. And actually, we wanted to do this 2 years ago, but then it was Corona. So we are so happy that this year we will be there. And it's on the 8th and 9th of September. And you find all the details on the website. Just Google on XP Days Benelux. You find there the program, the speakers, the setting, the link to the tickets, of course.
So xpdaysbenelux.nl. And for those that are outside of Europe, Benelux is a region of Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So this is what that word means. Cool. Now, last question is, and I was delightful to hear that you did this with Ajugo, your company. And if people want to hear about your company, it is at Ajugo, ADJUGO.com, Ajugo.com.
That's it.
But my passion of simplicity, I shared the simplicity scan and the simplicity toolkit with you. And I was delighted to hear that you took that really on your own and went and worked with your partners and did a self-facilitated, simplicity sprint in a way with your own people. And when you came back from that, you were beaming. So can you share a little bit why and what you did and how it turned out for you?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, the simplicity scan, you can have a look on it, have a look on the questions, and they're all so simple. And you think, they're so straightforward. And that's a trick with all these tools, make them so accessible and simple, but so powerful when you apply them and when you just experience them. So that's what I did. I said, let's just try it out and see what it gives. And then the first discovery was, those simple questions on just a few areas, a few domains. Some of them are so easy to answer, and others are quite difficult. And then it was like, it are those things that we are thinking about and working with from day to day that are easy to answer, but it are those things, the iceberg a bit under the surface, that is triggered to come up with the other questions. The questions as such are as simple as the others, but the answers are sometimes quite difficult. And for us, we came to the finding that it are these things that are more difficult to answer that merit more focus to be even more successful. So, and as always, everything what you pay attention to grows. It brings to the surface the things that you should pay more attention to. And then the third level of this simplicity scan is, why is it so difficult? Why don't we pay more attention to it? What are our internal things and struggles that withhold us from doing this? And yes, of course, because we are more into and more excited and more passionate by some other things. And there are always those topics that you put a bit aside. And it comes right into your face that there are things you're shuffling under the carpet, and it are those things that you should discuss and focus on together. And these were great findings. And we came immediately to the conclusion as well. This is related to the same values which are behind those behind agility, like transparency. First, take the time to make transparent amongst each other. What are these answers on what should our focus? Who is our customer? What is the difference we want to make? What are the things we need to do? Make it first transparent, and it needs courage and focus to do them. And like every other tool, it's not a tool who is doing it for you, but it gives you so much information on what.
You got to check in, and for those that don't know, the Simplicity Scan is a 15 domain sort of business design tool, asking questions all the way from what is your purpose to what markets do you work in, about what assets to use, like tools and people mindset. So it's a holistic business design tool. You can download that for free from the business the Simplicity Toolkit, at ebullient.com. And in there's a whole description of not only the tool, but also the process. Of course, you can adapt it to your own needs. And it's particularly good for a collective, meaning if you have a group of people, either a management team or some group of whoever from your organization. And what I like to really look at is what do these people, what I call violently agree on? That's the easy part, because then there's a question of, are we right? Like to do some self-reflection on, that was easy. We all in perfect agreement. And well, is there a blind side in that? Or where do you violently disagree or just not know? And well, if you're looking for simplicity, which means things are more clear and less complex, if you don't know about a significant dimension of your business, it's probably not tending towards simplicity. So awesome. So Karen, thank you so much for sharing that. I love it. If other people are using the simplicity scan as well, let me know and share your story on here as well. You can find Karen at adjugo, adjugo.com, also on LinkedIn. All that will be on the show notes. And as well, the XP Days Benelux.nl, and that's the 8th and 9th of September in Luxembourg City in Luxembourg. And I will be on stage, at least on the Friday morning, I think. Would love to see you there. So Karen, thank you so much for joining. As usual, awesome chatting.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Download the Simplicity Toolkit from Ebullient.com to discover the power of the Simplicity Scan and Sprint. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite player.